Welcome back, everyone. Another exciting episode today. I'm Christopher Brannon with the Coeur d'Alene Public Library and the Cooperative Information Network.
And I'm George Williams. I'm the Next Search Catalog Coordinator at Northeast Kansas Library System.
And today, George is going to walk us through some modifications for libraries. And can't wait to get started with that. In fact, we're going to turn this into a two-parter. He's going to walk us through those modifications, and then our next episode will deal with what we can do with those modifications and why he modified things in the first place. So we will get into that in just a moment.
This video is sponsored by koha-US, your place to look for all things Koha. Whether you're just starting out with Koha, or you've been with Koha for a while, koha-US is a great place to find resources, learn new tips and techniques, or connect with other users and libraries. Koha-US provides excellent information, both original and curated from around the internet, including the terrific Every Other Day training videos. You will also find several special interest groups to connect with, as well as our general monthly meeting where we gather to talk about the latest Koha news. You should also check out the koha-US annual conference, held at various locations around the US. This is a great opportunity to meet with other users face-to-face, and build your Koha network, as well as new friendships. And of course, don't forget about the great presentations. Koha-US is also actively involved in the Koha community by contributing towards new developments. If you are interested in contributing towards Koha-US funded developments, join the Koha-US membership. Your annual membership builds the funds to sponsor new developments in the community, and as a member, you also help shape Koha-US with your membership votes, and receive a discount on the annual conference. You can also contribute towards developments through a direct donation, or by purchasing some great Koha-US merchandise through our Threadless account. Visit us at koha-us.org to find out more.
All right, George, take it away.
Well, that's an interesting looking ladder you've got behind you there.
Yes, you're talking about repurposing some fields in the library records. And so I thought I'd do something that repurposing. So we're repurposing a ladder back here.
Yeah, and you inspired me to go out and find a picture of Cadillac Ranch, where all the Cadillacs have been repurposed into a bizarre art form. Long and black. We're all going to end up there.
Yes.
Just like the Bruce Springsteen song.
As long as the drivers aren't still in those cars.
I don't know. Never been there. Never been to that part of Texas. But and here is the staff interface at the at our test site, the koha-US demo site. And this is what if you go to the admin console and you look at libraries, you see all this information here. And here are this library information, and you click on edit, and there's this standard set of fields.
Right.
And what happened when I came to Kansas is I was always confused, because when I was in Idaho, we used address line 1 for the mailing address and address line 2 for the street address, the physical address. I don't know anybody that uses address line 3, but it always kept confusing me when I would have to modify library records, because here in Kansas, they used address line 1 as the street address. They'd flipped a lot of things. They'd done a lot of things differently. And so what I went ahead and did was just to write some code so that we've got mailing address, street address, street address / physical address. And then for address 3, since we weren't using it for anything else, we did director ILL contact. And we were using the, I think this is country. We were plugging in the Kansas Library Express code into there. And so what I've got, just really briefly, is a piece of jQuery that I'll stick in here. And so what I'm doing is I'm saying every time we're on this admin branches page, find the label for branch address 1 and change it to mailing address.
Okay.
Branch address 2 becomes street address / physical address. Branch address 3 becomes director / ILL contact. I decided to add that in not long after I got here, because I figured we could do some more things with that library list than we were using it for, just to manage the libraries in Koha. And then finally, I changed branch country to KLE code. And so if I put that in here and then reload all of that, these labels are going to change. If I reload it after it's saved, there we go. Mailing address, street address, physical address, director, zip, and postal code. So those are the things that I did with jQuery. It's just that really simple batch of code. All you need to know is the ID for each label. And you can rename any of these to anything you want.
And for our viewers that may be new to jQuery, can you just walk through how you found those pieces of information to identify those labels, and just walk us through that a little bit more in depth?
So I use Firefox, and on Firefox, the way I always access the inspection console, the console down here, is to do Shift-Control-I is the way I remember it. I know you do it a different way.
You can right click on an element in the page, and do inspect, or you can do F12 in most browsers.
Yeah, for whatever reason in my head, I just automatically go to Control-Shift-I. It's what I've always done. So, but however you get there, you can also go up to the menu, and I think it's under More Tools in Firefox. Web Developer Tools. So there's a bunch of different ways to get there. But once you're there, you click on Inspector and this little arrow over here. And if we click on City, it's going to show us that the label for this field is branch city. So if I wanted to make something different using city, I could just copy this line and change this branch label for branch address 1. Let's call it city. And maybe I want to call this town. And then if I reload this page, did I not save that? I thought I saved it.
Are you on the right?
Admin branches, admin label. Oh, it's branch city. I spelled it wrong. They have to be spelled exactly.
That would make sense.
So let's try that again. Reload. And the jQuery loads a second or two after, and so now city has become town.
Very nice.
So the jQuery is pretty simple. You could rename any of those fields. That's just what I choose to do them as. So, if you're at a library where you use where the top field is street address and the second field is mailing address, you could flip those around. You can rename any of these. And I did at some point, I never followed up on it, but we talked about the idea of, how you have patron extended attributes. I did a suggestion to our support company, Bywater Solutions. I had them write me a spec for a development that would be able to add library extended attributes, so that if a library wanted to have more fields in this data, more data than there are fields right now, we could add more fields without having to completely rewrite Koha. You just create extended attributes.
Okay.
But I've never followed up on that.
Do you happen to know the bug number on that?
There wasn't a bug number, because I asked Bywater I said, about how much do you think this would cost? And
Oh, okay.
it was about a year ago, and I never got to the point where I said, yeah, let's do that. So
You
But
never
that's
wrote a
something
bug on
that,
it in general, you just
yeah,
did spec on it. Okay.
yeah, and I think I might follow up with that this year. But any of these fields can be repurposed. And there's another thing that I started doing in ours. Like I've got the director name here, and we have, at our libraries, we have a director, and there's usually, at the bigger libraries, there's somebody that's an interlibrary loan contact. Like at Atchison Library, Cindy is the interlibrary loan contact. So I started using pipes to separate the different contacts that I put in here. In this library in Kansas, we have different library types. This library is a major service center 2. And so I put a pipe in there and put the type after that. And then I also put a logo for each library in the OPAC information. Most of our libraries have their own logos. If they don't have their own logo, I use the Next Search catalog. And when we do a video next week, the next time we do a video, I'm going to show you, now that we've got all this information in here, we've got it all organized, and I've got these director names separated by pipes. The next video we do, I will show you how I use the API to build this contact list and stick it on the circulation page. So, you know, when I first started doing this, it was a way of reorganizing the circulation, the library content, the library information on the library page. It was a way of reformatting it to make it easier for me to enter new library and update information. And then it grew into this way of creating a contact list for all the libraries, which I recently converted to doing that with the API, and we can talk about that in the next video.
All right.
So have a good week, everybody, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
All right.